Last year, I played football in college, and during my senior year, I ended up being hurt basically the entire year. That was kind of when I made the decision that I wanted to try. Found my passion for it. The biggest moment that moved me into trying to pursue art was actually.
Noah Henderson is a small business owner in the United States.
Noah, welcome.
And how's your day going so far?
Yeah, so far it's funny because it is actually Wednesday morning for me here, and I know it's actually your evening there. Is that correct?
Yeah, it's 3:30 here. So not too late.
3:30. Yeah, so late afternoon. All
Yeah.
right. So Noah, I'm going to ask you, how was your morning? Because I can imagine that you've been pretty busy, and I just wanted to say quickly, thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule. Because I know it's just a few days till Christmas, and I know you're very busy, so I really appreciate you for doing that. So, how was your morning?
Uh, Good. Just another day of painting. Nothing new.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. Very good. So are you ready for Christmas?
Yeah. Yeah. I am ready for New Year. It's been a chaotic end of the year, so I'm trying to just make it to the end of it.
Oh, good on you. Yes, I can definitely relate because kids, family trying to get presents sorted. I still have a few presents to buy. So after this interview, I'll be dashing out to the shops.
I've still got plenty of Christmas shopping to do myself.
Oh, good on you. All right. So Noah, the next question that I would love to ask you is what I call a backstory snapshot. Okay. So basically, a backstory snapshot is, I like to think of it as either moments or events of things that may have happened in your life, whether, from your childhood years growing up or a few years back. So when you look at those moments or events, you say to yourself, yep, those moments and events have shaped me to be who I am today. So, Noah, what are your backstory snapshots?
As far as, do you mean regarding art or just in general?
Yeah.
Uh,
Like regarding to what you're doing at this stage, so
yeah.
with your business.
So I would say, so I get asked a lot, like how long I've been drawing and painting and how I got into that. So I've been drawing, and as long as I can remember, anytime I had any piece of paper and a pen, I'd be doodling, and it was always animals or Star Wars is what I would be drawing growing up. And I'd paint here and there, and
Yeah.
but as far as key moments, I would say my first like actual, I didn't really take that many painting classes or anything, but I took AP art in high school and it was more of a variety of really any type of medium you could think of. But I really enjoyed doing that. And then kind of the biggest moment that moved me into trying to pursue art was actually last year. I played football in college, and during my senior year, I ended up being hurt basically the entire year. And it was through that time I was injured and away from football that I kind of found my passion for art again and started really pursuing it again.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it was through that after I ended up having a appendicitis actually, and after that surgery, I had a lot of off time and free time, and I kind of found a passion and just really enjoyed escaping away from that with my art. And at the time, it was drawing, and then I got offered random opportunity, but I was offered to paint some murals right after graduation, and I had never painted a mural and really hadn't been painting much of the time, but I decided to just go for it and loved doing that, loved that process. And that was kind of when I made the decision that I wanted to try to pursue it full time.
Yeah. Wow. So your story is a bit like the accidental passion slash business. Could I say
Mhm.
that?
Yeah, no, definitely.
So then, all right, let me just, because you said a lot of wonderful things that I'd love to unpack as we do our interview. So I would love to go to the bit. So when you were injured, so you wanted to just play, was it football full time? Was that your idea? your intention?
No, I more played. I mean, I loved it in high school and wanted to pursue it in college, and really was pursuing it just because at the time I loved it, and it was paying for my school and my education, and I was more of that aspect of it. I mean, I loved it in high school, and then throughout college, I knew that I was ready to be done with it, but it was paying for my school, so I obviously continued playing.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, oh, very smart. So, just want to say sorry to hear your accident. So
No.
then, when was it? Was it like a few months back, or was it a few weeks back that you realized that you could, pick up the pencil and do something? While you were in hospital. Was it in hospital, or were you at home? Recovering.
I was back home or at my school. I was recovering, but it was through all that free time. I had a little studio in the art building where I would work on
Okay.
my projects, and I started just going there every day and just drawing. Any spare second I got, I was in there, and it was kind of my escape. And at the time, I didn't really think it would be something that I could pursue full time because I was more doing charcoal drawings, and
Yeah.
I really didn't start painting on with acrylics or painting on canvases until back in June or July this year. And I really hadn't, I mean, I've painted a lot, but I wasn't super experienced. But I kind of started watching other people and other techniques and started seeing a lot of growth in my art just over the first few months that I really pursued it, and started selling a few things here and there. And then I kind of realized that it would be something that I could potentially do full time. And it's still potential. It's a very inconsistent uh, form of income, but it's growing, and that's the best I can do. So we'll see. It's a day by day type of thing, but regardless, I whether this is full time or part time, I love painting and creating, and I want to do it for as long as I can.
Yeah, yeah, because I did go through your socials, and obviously that's where I found out about your incredible page and your gifting and talent. So Instagram was showing me a few different small business owners, and then you popped up, and I was like, wow, that is so impressive. And so I did scroll very far back, and I think I did see July was your like when you started on Instagram, and I was like, wow, this guy's amazing. And I was looking through your progress, and I
Yeah,
have to say, I was very impressed.
yeah,
And I did actually see your murals, and the one that really lots of them caught my attention, obviously, and I think I noticed you had two murals, and I like to talk about I think it was the one with the forest and the pond. Can you tell me what your process was for that particular mural?
Do you mean the large one with the flowers?
Yes, I
Yeah,
think it had pine trees in the background, and then you did like pond and some lily pads, I think it was. Yeah, the
yeah.
landscape
That
one.
one actually, I'd never really done. I mean, it's pretty new to painting relatively. I mean, as far as what I'm trying to pursue, but I've never really painted a landscape, and all my stuff kind of revolves around animals. And I don't know, I didn't want to restrict myself to only animals, so I wanted to try a landscape painting just to more just explore, try different techniques, different brushes, and just paint a different subject matter. And also, I needed a break from painting fur. That process, it can be a very long process. So I wanted to mix it up and try something new. And I want to try to explore different subject matters as far as what I paint, but I definitely still love painting animals more than anything. But yeah, I have some plans over the next few months to try branching out with a few different things as far as landscapes or people. But yeah, the biggest thing, I just wanted to just try to grow my skills and explore different things.
Yeah, yeah, because you are a self-taught artist, correct?
Hmm.
Right, now quickly, if you are watching Small Business Owners Secrets to Success and you have not subscribed yet, please, 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 can I ask you to subscribe and share, like and comment if you can do that, because it really, really helps me a lot, and it helps spread the word of how small business owners can be supported. So be sure to do that, and thank you once again. Back to the podcast. You are a self-taught artist, correct?
Mm-hmm. And
Yeah, so yeah, you go ahead.
Taken a few painting classes as a kid growing up here and there. I took one painting class in my when I was in college, but nothing really it was more about like brush strokes or mixing colors or color theory and kind of just the basics, which I'd already knew at the time, but I still just enjoyed. It gave me an excuse to put a class on that too. I mean, I just enjoyed painting, and it was nice. That was my first time painting in oils, which I'm not the biggest fan of. I don't have the patience for it, but I need to give it another try.
Yeah. So I'd just like to go back a little bit. So when you watched other people doing their sort of painting and drawing, you must obviously, to be a self-taught artist, that is amazing, because that is a skill that no one can really teach you. That is something that you just have in you. So you obviously picked up the pen, the pencil and the paintbrushes and stuff, and thought, I'm just going to go with the flow. Did you surprise yourself with your first painting or your drawing?
Not really. I mean, I was always, as a kid, I was definitely had a talent for drawing, and I'd say I picked up earlier than most. I feel like I've had a really good eye for perspective.
Yeah.
But as far as painting, it really wasn't. It just from lots of practice and repetition. I mean, my first paintings were nothing special, and really, I would say my paintings were very average in my eye up until recently. And I mean, that's the bad thing about social media is you see there's just so many people with such amazing talents, and it can be hard to compare your stuff. So I try not to, but no, I was more of a natural drawer, and my painting, I was good at painting, but nothing crazy. And it really was just from tons of practice and repetition that I've just started gradually seeing growth over the years.
Yeah. And you really did mention the fact that social media really shows a lot of other artists and comparison, which is can be terrible. I'm guilty of that. We all are, or as social media entertainers or social media participants, we are very bad at comparing ourselves with everyone. Because you look at the numbers and you look at the likes, and it's very difficult not to. So how were you able to, or should I say, were you able to stop yourself from comparing your work with other artists? What sort of technique do you use to stop yourself from doing that?
Well, I mean, it's obviously easier said than done, but kind of mindset or perspective I have on it is there's definitely people that I think are more talented than me or better. I mean, there's tons of people out there that have way more talent and natural ability, but the kind of viewpoint I have on it is that regardless, it's still art, and I don't really think there is, to some extent, good and bad. I think everyone has their own unique style, and even for other wildlife artists that are painting the same type of subject matters than me, there's so many people with talent, but no one's paintings all look the same. Everyone has their own different techniques that they use in their own style, and that's kind of the way I view it. Is no one's is better or worse. Everyone's just different in their own style.
Yes, I agree with you on that, definitely. And I have looked at your art and other people's art, and I can say that when I go through them, I don't go, oh my goodness, this person's better. It's more like, wow, that's a different perspective on how they've looked at the animal and showcased it, or brought the canvas to life. And you did mention in your I think one of your reels, or was it on your website? I can't remember. You mentioned something that you have a passion about bringing the details of your paintings and your drawings to life. Can you tell me a little bit about your process when you are doing your paintings or your drawings?
So with all my images or paintings, I always use a reference photo, whether that's sometimes it'll be multiple. Sometimes I'll have a reference image for backgrounds and then a different one for the actual primary subject. But as far as my process, I always, well, I mean, obviously sketch things out and draw it out. And I always like to block it in and try to just, the way I view things when I'm painting is I always do one little section at a time, because I don't really view it as, like, if I'm painting a tiger, for example, I'm not painting a tiger. I look at one little part of its face and I just paint the colors and try to follow the textures without actually viewing it as fur or a specific part of the face. A lot of times I'll even turn the canvas either sideways or upside down to kind of change that perspective and allow me to really just paint what I see. But I mean, there's obviously a whole lot more that goes into it and many steps, but I try to, with all my paintings, I typically try to work in layers and work from dark to light for the most part is another thing that I see kind of a process repeating in all of my works. But it's always different for each piece. It always just depends on what I'm painting and what colors are involved in the subject matter.
Yeah, very good. And yes, I have seen on your Instagram posts that you don't seem to have like a specific way that you started, which I think is awesome. Some artists would say something like, they start with the eyes first or whatever, but I love it that you are very like you just go with the flow. And I think that is very unique, because at the end of your paintings, oh my goodness, the detailing, it is amazing. It is phenomenal. So good on you for that. And I like to move on to the next bit, because you mentioned that when you do your paintings and your drawings, it can be very, well, you didn't say time consuming, but I can definitely imagine that it is very time consuming. And I think one of was it your tiger painting? That one took you 30 hours. And I have to say, by the way, I love how you involve your followers in your processes when you're showcasing us your work behind the scenes. And you mentioned that the tiger one in particular took you 30 hours. That is a long time.
Yeah.
So do you, obviously you break it up, how many days, or do you allow yourself like days, weeks, months, I don't know, to do your painting? Can you tell me about your tiger painting in particular?
We try to have a painting done within the longest is a week. I mean, I'd say, and on average, a painting takes me about 3 days to finish, which, I mean, that's painting all day. I mean, I'll paint from 9 to 12, take a little quick lunch break, and then paint until 5 or 6. But it just depends. Some paintings I fly through because the colors and everything just goes how I want it to, and it turns out exactly how I want it to early on. And there's other paintings where it takes me longer because I can't figure out a certain aspect of it, certain colors or textures, shadows. But yeah, there's no particular time frame I'd say that I look for. I more just paint until I'm content with how it looks, and it varies, but yeah, I'd say on average, like the tiger painting, it was 30 hours, but it was like 3.5, 4 days of work. But so people always say, like, man, you paint so fast, which I do paint fast, but at the same time, just because it's done in 4 days, it's very long days. It's not just paint for a little bit each day. I mean, I'm putting a lot of time into it each day. So I think that can be a kind of perception people have is I work quicker than I actually do because of how long the days are.
Yes. Yeah. So on that note, do you do several paintings at once, or do you like to finish one and then start the next?
I do one at a time.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people do work on multiple pieces at once, but I don't know why. I've tried it. I can't bounce between things. I like once I get started on something, I want to finish it. And
Yeah.
I've tried it. It's just I struggle with that.
Yeah.
Actually, I tried that a couple weeks ago, and now I have a painting that is like a fourth of the way done that I haven't touched in 2 weeks.
Yes. Well, it makes sense that you would do one at a time because it's like writing a book. You don't want to be writing many different books at once. You want to really focus into it, nail it, get it done, move on to the next. So fantastic. I'd like to go back to something that you mentioned with the murals. And when I was scrolling through your social media, I saw one that you did of flowers on a
Mhm.
huge, was it a brick wall? Was that
Mhm.
for a business, or was that a personal commission with that one? Can you
That
tell
was
me?
that was a personal commission, and
Yeah.
yeah, so that was on a large like cement brick building. That was not a fun texture to paint on.
Yeah, yeah, because you obviously had to use a lot of different tools. You had to use like the roller brush, the huge one, and then you were on a crane?
Yeah, I was using a bucket lift for that one. So
Okay.
I had to learn how to use one of those. That was a cool experience.
Yeah, yeah, because I can imagine like every time you finish this side of the wall or whatever, you have to use the button to move you along to the next
Mhm.
one.
Yeah,
And obviously on time lapse fast, it looks so easy. And I was thinking
yeah.
that would have been very frustrating. Do one, stop, move on. Yeah.
With that one, yeah, I did. There were 6 total segments kind of on the wall, and so I would position it to where I could do 2 segments at a time before having to move the lift again. So it wasn't too
Oh
bad,
wow.
but
Yeah.
definitely those were long days, especially in the middle of I think it was June that I was doing it, June or July. So it was very hot and long days.
Oh my goodness. So how many days did that take you? Was it a few weeks or a few days?
That one was, I want to say, about 9 total work days, kind of spread out over about 2 weeks. But I would work for those days. I would work basically 7 to noon or 1. Just I couldn't work in the afternoon. It got way too hot at that point to
Yeah.
be in the sun painting.
Yeah, yeah. So would you say that type of work, doing murals, was it worth your time, or was that just "Ugh, I don't want to do that again"?
It was. It's definitely not something I learned that I don't want to do it full time as a career, but I'm
Mhm.
certainly open to doing more murals in the future. I mean, I enjoyed it, but yeah, it was very long, exhausting days. It was definitely a lot of work, but it was worth the time for sure. I mean, the murals, as far as payment wise, they produce a much better form of income, but it is a lot of work that goes into it, whether that's just painting or even the planning process going into it, as far as concept design and just really getting everything ready to go.
Yeah, yeah, sure. Well, I guess this is all part of the process, really, isn't it? When you're a creative, you need to sort of decide on what's working and what's not working. So yeah, you just got to go with the flow. So good on you for knowing. Yes, I've done that. I can tick that off. Now I can move on to something else. So moving on to something else, you've mentioned that your favorite wildlife animal is the tiger.
Mm-hmm.
And it looks amazing, by the way. So
Thank
you've drawn lions, elephants, eagles, owls, and I'll insert all those on the screen for those people watching on YouTube.
you.
You've drawn bears, giraffes. Can you tell me which one was your favorite drawing, painting, and why was it your favorite?
Okay. Um, That's a hard choice.
Yes.
I don't know. I think my favorite maybe the giraffe I did, but I don't know. That's a hard one. I
Okay.
like the
That's
giraffe.
all right.
I'd say the giraffe maybe because of the I really liked the angle of it and the composition, along with it was fun to paint just because of how many bright colors that were involved with it, and it was just something different as far as the way the giraffe was positioned, and the background was really fun to work on. I just enjoyed working with such a wide variety of colors.
Yeah, yeah. Because so like I mentioned, you've done the eagles, the elephants, and the detailing. And I think you mentioned you did a very detailed elephant painting. Can you remember that one you showed on social media? It was the elephant. You can see all the incredible skin, the texture. How many hours did that one take you?
Uh, I don't really know on that one. That was
Yeah.
definitely the most time consuming painting I've done uh, because of the detail and just the scale of it. I mean, it was a 4 by 5 foot canvas, so it was a
Yes. It was
very,
huge.
yeah, it was massive. But that one took me, it was about 6 days. So I would say roughly 50 to 60 hours is my guess. But I don't know the exact amount. But yeah, that one was definitely starting to test my patience at the end of it. It was a long one.
Yeah. So was that a commission work or was that something that you drew to or painted, sorry, for to make prints out of?
That one I've had been wanting to paint an elephant, and I had that massive canvas laying around, so I thought it would be a cool piece. But
Yeah.
no, that one
Yeah.
that's just what I felt like painting one.
Yeah. So is that one, does that also come as a print? Because on your website you've got originals and then you've got prints as well. Is that part of your print section as well as
Yeah, I have a few prints left of that one. The original actually sold last month, so that was not fun
Yay.
to ship.
Oh, was
Difficult.
that like within the States or international? Hi there, just a quick little word from our sponsor. Now, as you know, I'm a small business owner and this is my small business, See My Curls. So basically, See My Curls, my small business, sponsors this channel. So if you have wavy hair, curly hair, coily hair, or locks, and you like to try some natural, handmade, and organic products, be sure to check out seemycurls.com.au. And I hope that will inspire you to continue your curly hair journey. And yeah, let me know how you go. You can either follow me on my See My Curls Instagram page, or you can follow me at my Instagram page as well for these channel. All right, back to the podcast. Or was
Difficult.
that like within the States or international?
Yeah, luckily it was in the States, so it wasn't too bad. A lot more. I kind of learned I'd never shipped something that large, so I learned how expensive it is to ship something that large.
Yes,
Uh,
yes.
but no, that one I have prints of that, and I don't have too many prints at the moment. I want to start incorporating more now that I've grown a little bit.
Yeah, yeah. So this is a great time to move on to the next question. So obviously being a small business owner, I do hair and skincare, so I can definitely relate. And obviously, my products are not as big as yours. They're like bottles and jars and things like that. And what you said about that, you've learned a lot about the cost of shipping. So on that note, uh, have you now decided to only ship your items within the US, and are you sort of eliminating some states not to ship to because they would cost way too much?
So on my website, it's limited to shipping directly within the United States. I mean, I'll ship anywhere in the U.S., but
Yeah.
I need to have a way to display it better. But I will ship internationally, but that's something where it would be more of a private transaction. And like I've had a few things. or actually only one, but I've shipped something to Europe where they reached out to me, and we just kind of did a separate transaction on the side. But as far as my website and just for the logistics with my shipping profiles, as of now, I only offer direct sales in the United States, but I want to start incorporating more, but that's still just one of the many things I need to address.
Yes, yes. So yeah, it can be very, should I say, frustrating when you're sort of starting out, because obviously you have to wear so many different hats as a small business owner. So can you tell me some of the hats that you wear with, for your business? Do you do website? Are you the financial person? Can you tell me some of the responsibilities that you have to take on?
Yeah, so I mean, I wear any hat involved. I wear. I'm doing this all on my own as of now, but as
Yeah.
far as responsibilities, the main ones are obviously painting and producing my products, and uh, then I'd say my other main time commitments are obviously website management, uploading my products, getting them ready for display on my website, and kind of updating that. And then on top of that is just a social media manager and editing videos, recording videos. That's a very large time commitment, is just spending the time to produce these videos. And then packaging, preparing things for shipment, addressing the orders is another thing. And I'm trying to start becoming more involved on YouTube. I'm working on my second video, but that's a longer process because it's definitely, there's a big time commitment with that on top of all the other things.
Yeah. Yes, for sure. So the list can go on and on and on. And I was talking to another uh, creative on my other podcast, and she was telling me that one day she spent the whole Monday checking emails because she just, and she was saying that she was in the process of getting all these strategies into place, and next year thinking, no, she would need somebody to help her do this and that. So yeah, it is a very interesting process for small business owners to juggle so many different things. So yeah, I guess as we all sort of go with it, we learn a lot and we know, yes, that's good, and no, that's not good. So yeah.
Definitely.
So in regards to social media, especially with Instagram, do you find that you spend a lot of time with your video editing or, creating content? How are you dealing with all that very interesting process?
Yeah, so the actual like recording process itself isn't too time extensive. I'll either have a camera, I have a separate camera that I'll set up sometimes and just have it filming for a time lapse, or just use my phone while I'm every so often throughout the video. I'll set my phone up to get a quick little clip of a progress video. And then at this point, I've gotten more used to the whole process of editing these videos. So the time commitment isn't near as bad anymore. I mean, I feel like I relatively quick as far as getting my videos ready, but it's a large time commitment just managing social media alone. I mean, editing the videos and then trying to I try to do a good job with interacting with my followers, and as far as responding to comments and messages, I try to respond as often as I can, which can't get to them all, but I try to do my best at interacting and keeping my followers engaged.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I have to say you do that very well because throughout your whole Instagram, there are lots of, like, you really engage with your followers and you ask them, can you help me name this animal, for my listing on Shopify, or you even ask them the recent one, which I love and I have participated lots. It was the Christmas
Yeah.
painting, and I'm going to insert this one right here for people to see it. And I think the first one, you said that you got your mum to input,
Mhm.
and was her idea the lamp in the house?
The leg lamp.
Yes, yes. Very, very sweet of her. So I think we're up to now. So you've done the light. So you did. I'll just explain to people. So you did the beautiful background. Oh, that was just amazing, and you can really see the detailing in the trees. And then you did the house, and then I think other people said, "Oh, chimney." So you added the chimney. And was
Mhm.
it a Christmas tree outside? And I actually said, "Oh, don't forget to include kids playing in the snow." So hopefully you can do that one.
Yeah, it's been fun, and it's been a good way to allow my followers to have some input and engagement with my actual art itself. And
Yeah.
yeah, I've added as of now the Christmas tree, some lights, a couple reindeer in the background, the chimney with smoke. I added a what's it called? A wreath on the door and a snowman. And I'm actually later today. I'm gonna go read through the comments and try to find what I'm gonna add next. For that, I've been trying to pick things that have been like more frequently asked, but I'm
Yeah.
starting to get to the point to where I'm just gonna start picking things that I wanna that I wanna add in for fun. Which I saw your comment. I've seen a couple people mentioning kids playing in the snow, and I do want to incorporate whether it's kids or some type of people aspect in the painting.
Yeah.
Which good thing is I've still got some time. Plan on making a few more videos of that up until Christmas, and then my very last thing I'll be adding will be Santa Claus right before Christmas, which
Yeah.
I haven't decided how I'm going to incorporate that yet, but we'll see.
Yeah. Well, I think it's a great idea, and I'll definitely have to remember that and ask my followers to also input some things. So for what I'm doing. So yeah, fantastic. So what is your idea on that painting? Are you wanting to are you hoping to sell that one once you're finished, or yeah, what is your intention for that
I
painting?
haven't decided yet if I want to sell it. Because I've really enjoyed working on it, and I may just keep it to have as my own little Christmas decoration and have pull that out every winter. I think that could be fun, but
Yeah.
I don't know yet. I may sell it, or I may even do a little few limited prints of it too, just because I think people have had input with it and got involved with it. I think they would enjoy being able to access it, but I don't know. I'm conflicted on what to do with it. I'll just see. I'll make up my mind when I finish it.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it's a beautiful, beautiful painting, and you've done a great job with it. And so, asking your mum, I'll move on to that one. How are your family? Are they very supportive of what you're doing?
They. I'm very very thankful. They are. When I told them that I wanted to pursue this, they were fully on board with it and very supportive. And I mean, they're my biggest fans out of anyone, so I'm very thankful for that and very blessed. And my mom, she's painted or is a painter, and she doesn't paint as much now. She's been more busy, but I mean, my whole life she's always been painting and has been a very big influence and kind of inspiration as far as getting more into art and painting.
Yeah. So you could say that you are sort of re-inspiring her to do her bit as well.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
so. And
Oh, very, very good.
she had the idea today. She was talking to me. She wants me to fill in, kind of sketch out two different animals on a canvas and let her and my dad try to fill it in and see how it goes. my
Oh, that's
mom,
a
my
great.
mom is a talented painter. My dad, not so much. I got my artistic abilities from my mom for sure.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, well, that's a great idea. I think you should do it, and don't forget to include that on social media. I think
Yeah,
people will be very, very inspired, and I think it'd be great. And then
yeah,
they can say hi as well, so we can meet them.
yeah. I think it'd be fun, and I know
Yeah.
they would enjoy getting to do that too.
Yeah. Oh, good on you. And so you said that your family are very, very supportive. What about your friends? Are they like, do they engage much, or do they just prefer to stay in the background?
My friends, they're definitely very supportive of it, and they are they definitely support my work, and they'll comment here and there. And they definitely engage with my posts, and I'm very thankful for that as well. But no, they've been very supportive of it, and really all my friends have. So that's it's kind of something I tell my parents often is I'm very thankful to have that kind of support in my life. I mean, it's been awesome and really has helped me because it's not easy trying to make a full-time living selling paintings, especially when you're new to it. I mean, any small
Yeah.
business owner would know that. But so it means a lot having that kind of support in my life for sure.
Yeah, very good. And so I'll move on to the next bit. What I wanted to ask you is, so you've been to some art shows. I think you mentioned on your website that you go to art shows. Is that something that you do very often, or is it once every few months? Yeah, can you tell me about that? Your art
Yeah.
shows.
I've actually myself I've never been in an art show.
Oh,
I
okay.
I applied for my first one actually a couple months ago and didn't get accepted, which is fine, but you got to start somewhere. But as far as being going to them, I really haven't been to too many art shows. There's been a few galleries and exhibitions that my school would host that I would go see. And we've had some guest speakers, and that's definitely been cool. I always appreciate seeing other artists and kind of their process, and it's just neat hearing their stories and seeing where they come from. And it can be pretty inspiring seeing another artist that's very successful show you like, hey, 10 years ago when I was starting, I had nothing and wasn't making any money, and seeing the growth and where they made it to is definitely very motivational.
Yes, yes, definitely. And this is the bit that I love about social media, where when there's like a cluster of artists that sort of get together, whether in the painting category, or product making like hair and skincare or whatever. I find that when there's that sort of cluster, especially, that can sort of eliminate competition and rather sort of encourage support and yeah, definitely just that
Yeah,
support. And so it is very, very good. Yeah, to
yeah.
have that.
No, I'd agree. Social media can definitely be a very bad thing at times, but it is cool. I mean, one of the biggest positives I see is kind of how big of a community there is on social media. And for example, I do wildlife, and there's a lot of other wildlife artists that we all follow each other, and it's really cool seeing how much they engage with other people and support other people's work. And you would think maybe they'd be competitive because they're in the same market, but there's not really any negativity in it. It's always people, they're always very supportive of everyone's work, and always commenting on each other's posts. It's really cool to see that kind of involvement in the community.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. And yeah, because like you said, it can be a bad thing, but it's great seeing all the positivity with social media that comes out of it. So have you come across any negativity? And if so, how are you able to deal with that?
Yeah. It's funny. I was actually, maybe last night, I was talking with my parents about how thankful I am because I don't have much negativity on any of my posts. I mean, it's very rare that I see, especially with how Instagram comments can be so ruthless and so much negativity on it. And I really am thankful because it's very rare that I see a negative comment. And I don't know, the way I view it is I don't care what these random people think if they don't like it. I'm very thankful for the people that do support it and any of my followers. I'm so thankful for that aspect of it. But as far as the negative comments, it doesn't matter to me. And if anything, them commenting that is helping me because a comment on my post and boosting it through the algorithm. So that's fine with me.
Yep, that is a great way to look at it, definitely. And there is no such thing as bad publicity because it's
No,
all adding to engagement. So people are engaging. So yeah,
no,
very good. So yeah, so on that note, work-life balance is the next thing I like to talk about. How are you with your work-life balance? Do you have you nailed it, or is it still a work in progress?
it's still a work in progress. I mean, I definitely, the mindset I have right now is I definitely am working a ton, but I want to work a ton now to set myself up in a position where I can afford to not work as much later down the road. But
Yeah.
as far as where I'm at with my career right now, I don't think I'm in a position to take a bunch of off time. I mean, I paint base 7 days a week for the most part. Saturdays and Sundays, I'll sometimes will do more of a half day of work, and it's nice because I have the flexibility to where if something comes up on a weekend where if I do want to go and take the day off, I will do that. I mean, I don't just completely shut myself out 7 days a week, but the thing is, I mean, it's work, but I enjoy doing it, and it's not really work in my eyes. I enjoy my days, and it's not something where by the end of the day I'm just super ready to be done and to take the rest of the day off. I enjoy what I'm doing, and I'm fine with it consuming all of my time.
Yeah, yeah. No, that's fantastic because definitely, when you're in your zone and you're doing what you love, it really sometimes it's not really work at all. It's just you just love it so much that you
Mhm.
could do it all day if you have
Yeah,
to. So yeah.
yeah.
So on that note, so we've talked about lots of ups, amazing things with your business. Have you come across any challenges at all that you go, oh dear, I'm not sure if I want to keep going with this. Have you had any of that yet? Or can you tell me any of your challenges with your business so far?
Yeah, I mean, it can be hard to stay motivated at times when you do go through. I mean, there's always dry spouts where you don't may have as many sales or as much engagement, which it can be hard to stay motivated. But and as far as painting itself, there's been plenty of times I've started a painting and early on through the painting have gotten very frustrated because it's just I cannot get it to look how I want it to look. And I mean, have had to start over multiple times, and it can be frustrating. But biggest thing, I'm still working on it, but I'm trying to just learn to enjoy the process, and that I mean that includes the bad parts of it, and when things don't go right, but try to just embrace it and learn from it instead of just getting frustrated. Which again, I'm working on that.
Yeah, yeah, no, fantastic. Good on you because definitely, I guess as a creative person, if you sort of let the hard times knock you down, you'll not really get anywhere. But it's good that you are realizing there are days that can be very down, and you just have to pick yourself up and keep going and remind yourself of all the good things that you're doing. I can definitely relate to that with my hair and skincare business. Sometimes I'm like, okay, I just need to make products, or I just need to stop and do stuff on my website. And yeah, I mean, I've got a wonderful support as well. My husband and my three kids are always like, "Yeah, go, mom," So it definitely helps having to remind ourselves of all the good things that are happening. Yeah.
Definitely.
So yeah. So the next thing I forgot to actually mention this one, which I love it, is your landscape um, sunset slash the dolphins
Yeah.
painting. Can you go back to that one? Because that one, and I'll put it there, it is amazing, the colors and the detailing. Can you tell me about that day when you decided to do that landscape painting?
Yeah, that one. So I saw the image, and I don't know. I loved the colors. I'd been wanting to do something because I haven't really painted water that much, but I really enjoy painting it, and I think it's a fun process seeing it come together. And I've been wanting to do something along those lines. And that one actually, that was one of the paintings where things kind of did just click, and that one only took me like a day and a half to paint, but the colors were just, everything was flowing, and it kind of painted itself in a way. And no, I really did enjoy painting that one, and that's why I like water like that. And you'll see a lot of times my paintings kind of consist of not unique, but different lighting, and I really like playing with light, whether that's light reflecting off of stuff or a sunset or just different lightings, and trying to practice that. But no, that one, I really enjoyed painting that one, and I will definitely be doing more along that. I'm actually right now painting a crab, and so I've been painting some water for the past 2 days, and I've really enjoyed working on that one.
Yeah. Wow. Well, it is such a beautiful painting. So definitely do more of that as well. And I was going to move on to the next one, which I almost forgot. This one is a drawing of a horse called
Hmm.
Bronson.
Yeah.
And I love that one because, so obviously that was a commission work. Did you take the artwork to the person who commissioned it and they said, oh, this is the horse? Is that what, can you tell me what happened that day?
So that was actually, it was a local person that friend of a friend, and I'd actually, back in high school, I pressure washed their driveway, but that was my summer job back in high school. And but no, she saw my art, and that was my second commission I did for her. But I was dropping off the painting, and I had met him a couple weeks before that too. But I thought it would be really fun to do a video of my painting and showing the actual subject itself. So I thought that was really fun getting to do that.
Yeah, well, that was special. I thought, wow. And it was just like, oh my goodness, you really nailed it. I mean, all your paintings, though, you always nail them. But that one, I was like, oh wow, look at that. Look at the detailing. That was so special. So I'm glad that you showed us that. That was very good.
Yeah.
And then so on that note, obviously, what was the feedback from your friend? Can you tell me what her feedback was?
No, she loved it, and she was very, very thrilled to get both of the paintings. And but no, she was super excited, and that's always a really good feeling when you finish a commission work like that and get that type of reaction. I mean, you hope to get that every time, which for the most part I feel like that's the relative reaction I've got. But no, it was awesome, and she was super fired up about it. So that was fun.
Yeah, well, yeah, definitely a great encouragement when you get that sort of feedback
Hmm.
from commission work. So obviously you get lots of awesome feedback on Instagram because when I scroll through the comments, it's just like endless. Love your work, fantastic. You're so creative, you're so talented. So can you tell me some of the other feedbacks that you've gotten from your customers?
Yeah, I mean, customers and just social media alone, I've loved the positivity that I have on it, and just how much engagement I get. I mean, I have not the most followers out of some of these other artists, but the engagement I get is unbelievable. And I mean, my followers are super appreciative of my work, and I'm very thankful for that. I mean, there's just so much support and positivity in that community that I'm trying to build. And same with any of the commission work I've done. I mean, I feel like they're always very happy for it. And it's always such a rewarding feeling because it can be stressful doing commissions. It's a lot easier to just paint something you want to paint and let people decide if they want to buy it or not. But the commissions can be more stressful because they have, whether or not they know much about art, they always have this particular image in their head of what they want painted. And it can be hard sometimes trying to get that image on a canvas, but it's a fun process.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, very good. Um, so I like to go on to the next thing. So when you are doing your paintings, do you prefer to work in a quiet environment or do you listen to music? What do you do?
I always have music playing, and as far as genre or whatever, it's just completely random. I guess kind of what I'm in the mood for that day. But no, I definitely will. Anytime I'm painting, I always have music playing.
Yeah, yeah, fantastic. Um, yeah, well, I guess, yeah, it's something that I've spoken to so I spoke to an artist 2 weeks ago, and she also said the same thing. She liked to listen to music, and yeah, just really help her really zone into what she's doing. So yeah, it's great to hear that you do something similar.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So the next thing I like to move on to is, say you were starting your business, fast forward, December 2023. What would you do differently if you were starting your business this month, let's say?
Uh, I don't know. That's a tough question. I mean, there's definitely things as far as growing on social media. I learned a lot about kind of how to promote my work and kind of how to produce better videos. So, I mean, there's definitely things I would have changed, but I don't know. That's hard because I mean, I still have a very long ways to go, and I mean, it's still very new, and I feel like I still have. There's definitely a lot of things I should be doing differently, I'm sure, but it's just a learning process, and I still have a lot to learn. But as
Yeah.
far
Yeah.
as starting off, I don't know. I don't really have too many things that I would have changed.
That's all good because this is all part of the process, I guess. You're still finding out what you like to do and what you like to not do, and how you would put systems in place. So yeah, no, it's all good.
Yeah.
And I have to say that you don't just draw wildlife and landscapes. You've also drawn people. And the
Mhm.
one that I saw was Mike Tyson. You drew that one.
Yeah.
How earlier on was that when you did the Mike Tyson drawing? Because that was a drawing, not a painting. Was that right? Or was that a?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
that
was
was a drawing,
that was a
wasn't it?
charcoal drawing. Yeah, that was
Yeah.
back in I'm gonna say July. So it was
Okay.
kind of at the point right when right before I kind of fully transitioned to painting, and at that point I'd only been doing charcoal drawings up until the summer, and then I started doing some paintings on top of the charcoal drawings, and then progressively just switched to strictly painting.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that one was amazing because the detailing, especially the sweat on
Mhm.
his face, that was beautiful because when you look at it, it's like, wow, my goodness, that is just amazing. Can you tell me how you get the process of making the sweat look like sweat? Can you tell
Yeah,
me that? Was that a very easy drawing to do, or was that very challenging?
I mean, it wasn't super challenging, more just a lot of time commitment and patience
Mm.
with that one. But as far as creating sweat droplets or water, a lot of times the way I view it is not every aspect of water, but a lot of times I feel like what makes it look more real is just a strong contrast within the water itself. So I mean, when I'm painting ripples of water, or the charcoal is different because it's black and white, but I'll try to have strong contrasting colors, whether it's dark and light or just opposite colors. But I don't know, though, water and sweat, it's a tricky thing, and I feel like it can be brought to life with the highlights too. Is one of the biggest things as far as like creating that reflective look.
Yeah, yeah, sure. Yeah, well, that was nicely done. And yeah, I was just very impressed. I was like, wow, because some artists like to stick with just one. theme, and you really are just very talented, and you really are very broad with your work. So fantastic. Now, Noah, we're getting close towards the end. Is there anything you like to tell me that I haven't asked?
I mean, not that I can think of. Nothing coming off the top of my head.
Yeah, no problem at all. So I'd like to move on to the sort of second last thing. So with my podcast, I have a thing where I call small business owners inspo. So every guest that I have will sort of leave a word of inspiration for my next guest. And so the guest before you is a lady called Lorna, and Lorna is a UK artist, and she does colored pencil drawings, and she's amazing as well. And so she left you this beautiful inspiration.
I think for me, a reoccurring theme for me is confidence, and not confidence and consistency. Not to be worried about what other people think. Building that confidence within yourself will show other people that you are happy with your work. And the more that I've become confident with me and my work, the more that other people have seen that. But just showing up as well, like even on days where maybe I haven't felt confident, I will post something, just being consistent with my posting. And it's other people that have helped lift my self-confidence. So knowing that even though you might not feel in a good place at that time, there is always somebody out there that is going to be lifting you up, because they're expecting, they might be expecting you to post something. They might not know what it is, but being consistent, they're going to help you so much with your self-confidence as much as you're helping yourself. So yeah, confidence is a big thing for me.
So Noah, does that ring true for you? Is that very helpful? Can you tell me?
Yeah, no, I would definitely agree with that 100%. I mean, I definitely think that being confident in yourself is one of the biggest things, because I mean, we live in a world where there's always going to be people tearing you down and trying to tell you that you're wrong or not good enough. So I 100% would agree with that.
Yep, fantastic. So then on that note, because see, Noah, when she left that inspiration, I had no idea who I was going to be interviewing next. And so that's basically what happens. All my guests, they have no idea who's going to be next. So they just basically say what's in their mind or what's on their heart. So it is your turn now to leave a word of inspiration for my next guest. So would you like to have a think and give something? Now, remember, you don't have to worry. You just say whatever you want to say, because the next person will find it very, very helpful.
Yeah. I would say.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much. And I have no doubt that the next person is going to absolutely love it. Yeah. And just wanted to say thank you, Noah. But before I let you go, your social media link connections. So where can people find you if they want to connect with you?
All my social media, it's all noahhenderson.art, or my website is noahhendersonart.com. And then TikTok, which I'm not on TikTok anymore really, but Instagram is noahhenderson.art. And then my email as far as reaching out would be nayha44@gmail.com. I need to get a new email.
And you're also on YouTube, you mentioned, so I will also include that link. Mm-hmm. So what is the YouTube link?
It's
the name, sorry?
noahhenderson.art.
Okay, perfect. I'll put it in the link anyway for people, but I just wanted you to say it because I also put this podcast on Spotify. So if people are listening, yeah. All right. Well, Noah, I just wanted to say a big thank you for taking time out of your afternoon, and I really appreciate you. And just want to say congratulations and keep up the good work. And I will definitely be seeing you on social media. Okay.
Thank you.
All right. You take care, Noah. Bye for now.
You too. Bye.
Bye.